and drug peddling on every street of the world and of the West. We have record rates of crime. We have white-collar crime soaring through the ceiling. We have suspicious mortality taking place in the hospitals all across the land. We have suspicious activities from doctors. We have massive pharmaceutical monopolization of the planet. We have vote fraud that the mafia would envy. And yet with all of these local community neighborhood crimes and with all of the well-meaning individuals, almost next to nothing gets done. And yet there's laws on the books to handle this kind of thing. So why is it then, even with the police force, the FBI having a criminal conspiracy division, which implies that there is such a thing as a criminal conspiracy operating in the world, the average individual adamantly stands up and denies that there's a worldwide conspiracy? I mean, there's enough corruption in your own communities. These same individuals who can't handle that, can never get a handle on any of this, are happy to stand up and in a couple of sound bites tell you that there's no worldwide global conspiracy, no oligarchy, no pyramid, no hierarchical system bent on the control of mankind. This is the ignorance factor that one has to put up with, the new, as I said, flatliner mentality. Now, in fact, the burden of proof is really not on those who believe that there is a conspiracy operating in the world. The burden of proof is really on those who would stand up and oppose that fact. That is why I think it is that those who have studied this subject thoroughly, who really know their facts, have never actually been taken on head to head, whether that be Jordan Maxwell or Eustace Mullins or Alex Jones, or Anthony J. Hilder, or even lower level scholars in this subject like Amy Goodman, for instance, or Greg Palast. It's not a habit that they're taken on face to face for that very reason. The opposition knows that as soon as it would engage anyone who has the knowledge, the cat would be very much out of the bag, because we have, as I've been demonstrating here, we have the proof, we have the facts. And it's not really possible, is it, on the media as we know it today, to be able to even get into this whole question in a couple of sound bites. In fact, you couldn't even get into the pros and cons of this in a very lengthy conversation. So that also helps to debar the whole expose. What I urge you to do is to get your hands around the facts. I can only give that part that I have discovered, because in fact no one person has all the answers with this. It's a very complex and ancient subject. It goes back far in time, and it takes a while. One has to be patient and diligent, and like any good detective, a great deal of patience and constancy is needed. So I provide my audiences with the information that I have gleaned, and you provide what you have discovered, but you have to get your arms and your mind around as many of the facts as you possibly can. And you also need a great deal of bravery, because it takes bravery to be able to go against the flow. But in short, if researchers such as myself are advocating this, it's not because we have nothing better to do. If we're into the subject of conspiracy, it's not because we've got nothing better to do. And we are empowered, and we've researched the whole subject through and through. And I myself have plowed through all of the misinformation, all the wacko-jacko theories that are out there. And I know from my time living in Ireland exactly how the game of politics works, how the game of the dialectic, both sides being pitted against each other, the whole problem-reaction-solution situation works. I saw it was at first hand, and know how that is very successful to those in power, and why it is that they choose to use the pyramid and the triangle as a symbol.